Welcome. I'm Diane Yellowlight, a certified psychic. Today I'm going to discuss coming home to self. How do we come back to the relation of ourself? How do we come back and become friends with ourself? How do we come back to the love of ourself? A lot of times we get our strokes from other people, or we set ourselves up to look good in other people. But how do you come back to the deepness of who you really are, the authenticity of who you really are, and how do you repair yourself within yourself? A lot of times we do look for others and we do need others to co-create with us, but we need to heal ourselves. How much time do you give yourself a day to healing on something? How much time do you do an inventory on yourself and look in the mirror and say, what can I do to improve myself on a physical level? What can I do to improve myself on a mental level? What can I do to improve myself on a spiritual level? What can I do to improve myself on a physical level? What can I do to prove myself, period? A lot of times we get along in life and we say, oh, I don't have to do anything more. I put my time in. I am who I am. I'm going to be just the way I am, and that's the way it is. Well, that's okay, and you can do that. However, you're not going to ever be to your fullest potential. You're not going to have the unconditional love you deserve. You're not going to be able to be the most beautiful soul that you can be. You're going to deteriorate your health. You're not going to build your spiritual. It's like anything else. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. And everybody avoids the spiritual aspect of how to go into that. It doesn't have to be named God-based or whatever. We're talking about the inner vibrations of you. How many thanks do you give a day for what was in your life? How many thanks do you give to the people in your life? How many thanks do you give to yourself? A lot of times when we give the kindness out, that is how we give it back to ourselves, because it will come back around at another time. It's like having a savings account. What are you putting into your spiritual savings account to heal yourself? What are you putting in somebody else's spiritual saving account to help them heal them? I got other videos that talk about how to do this on telepathy and other aspects, but right now my concern is coming home to self and how do you heal yourself? And that is by knowing what you need to do. Sometimes we do need to cry. Sometimes we do need to be angry. Sometimes we need to feel bad. But remember, all those emotions are coming from a wounded ego. They're not coming from the whole ego of self. We have an ego in our heart. And when that's in balance, we're aglow. We're happy. We're joyous. Everything's right. We're upbeat. We think good. Everything. But too many of us don't do that. How many times do you go home and get into the mundane of what your routine in life is? Is it upbuilding, or are you sitting there listening to everybody telling you about the woes of the world? Or are you listening to things that are so far-fetched they're not even about the future? The time you put into yourself is the time that you are going to be better as you move along in life. And that is not the time that other people can put in you. You have to put self-time in, and then you also have to have time from others. And then we eventually get a balance within self, and we will always have the polarities of negative and positive, high and low. And then you can end up coming from your heart base. You can stay in your heart vibration within yourself and follow and become back to the authentic trueness of who you really are and were meant to be. All of this makes your future. Your destiny is in your hands right at this time frame. Divinity has got everything planned for you that you've ever wanted to do, and you are the destiny of it. Either you're going to open up to it and allow it to happen, or you're not. And if you don't do this, you're eventually going to get empty. You're going to get empty in time, empty in energy, empty in spirit, empty in heart, empty in mind, until you're just a shadow of who you really thought you were. When you leave this earth, you want to really authentically know that who you are and be happy with that aspect of it. And it's not happy, happy, I like me. It's happy that I know that I did more for life than what life gave me. It's what I can do for others that counts, not so much what I do all for myself. But there are things that you do have to do for yourself, and you have to correct for yourself. I know each and every one of you can go above and beyond your circumstances. And the biggest gift of all is trying to learn to love somebody that is cantankerous, or somebody that is just negative, or somebody that is whatever it is. And when you can learn to do that, and when you can balance that out, then you have learned to love yourself as well. So come back home to self. Discover self in the spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, ego way. Everybody seems to be leaving out their heart base today. They say, I love you, but they don't feel it deep in their heart. And if they do feel it deep in their heart, then they're selfish and they don't share it. You know, we all need to be told we're loved. We all need to be told we're liked. We all need to be told that we're special over and over again. Just because you hear it once doesn't mean it's over with. And if you're that stingy with your emotions, good luck, because you're going to be lonely in your heart. So I ask each and every one of you to open up those doors and let that heart out. And even though some people say to you, oh, you do too much for other people, don't worry about that, because it's better to have a bigger bank account than a shrunk bank account when there's nothing in it. Because when there's nothing in it, I guarantee you people aren't going to want to be in your life at all, because you have nothing to give to them. And sometimes we do give to people and they take from us, but that's okay. If you got a big enough reserve, then it's not going to cause you a problem, is it? If you have a little reserve, then you've got a lot of problems. And that's when you need to go home to self, co-create with self, give to self, nurture self, give to others, quit making yourself so number one, and do out there and ask yourself, what can I do today for someone else? Just one person that I don't know. What can I do for somebody in my life that I do know? We are very self-centered at this time frame, and it's destroying our souls, and it's destroying our ability to move in the future. And I ask each and every one of you to go above and beyond those circumstances. Do your inventory, and you'll be very happy that you did when you get down that road. In time, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. So until next time, I send you light, love, life, and happiness. And bye-bye. Have a great time in your life and get busy. You're worth it, every bit of it. Bye-bye.